If you take a shit that's this big
right.
and you put it in a box, come back a week later, it's like this big. How do I know that? Because I did it to a guy in prison. I took a shit in a welfare box one time. You know the boxes of cheese where the cheese comes in, American cheese? And I took like a 22, 24-inch. It looked like a lizard. It was just long, like a snail. That's what it looked like, a long brown snail. And I fit it perfectly into this cheese box. And I took a flag, an American flag, like from the cheese, and I put it on top. And I put it in this drawer. And he had the first bunk on the way out. So everybody had to walk back. And all the black guys would open the door and go, God damn, it smells like shit in this motherfucker. And he kept saying, I know it does. I don't know why it smells like shit in here. And after like a month, he went in his drawer, opened it up, and he found this box. He opened it up, and I'll never forget him knocking on my bunk going, I'm going to find out who did this to me. And I go, what'd they do to you?
Then I'm going back that night, and I'm walking down the street. I'm all by myself. It's pitch black out. It's cold as fuck. And this Mercedes pulls up in front of me. And these two guys get out of the front seat and they reach into the back seat and they grab something out. And I see it's this woman with beautiful red hair and she's in like a beautiful cocktail dress and they're pulling her out of the back seat of this Mercedes. And I'm the only one on the street and they clearly don't see me, but this woman sees me and she makes like direct eye contact with me. They're pulling her out of the back seat. She's not fighting them, but she's not helping them either. She's just like completely limp and just being dragged. They take her over to this building and they just start like opening her head up against the side of this building and start smashing her head. I ran at this guy and I grabbed him and in English, I'm like, man, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? And he just pulled out a gun and he just put it like right to my forehead. And he said in English, he's like, go away. And so, I walked away listening to that.
I'm going to tell you a story. It's a true story. There's a woman in Florida who was a cop. She was 25 years old. She pretended to be a high school student. And she's an attractive woman. Made friends with this boy. He thought it was his girlfriend. And she talked him into selling her pot and then she arrested him. That only works when you have a 17-year-old boy and a 25-year-old woman. Mm-hmm. If you had a 25-year-old man and then he gets her to sell him pot and then he arrests her, there would be people lining the fucking street with torches to kill that guy. This kid has a felony on his fucking record right now.
Yep. During World War II, when the Japanese were holding Ramri Island in Burma, Myanmar, the Allies came in and started making the Japanese retreat. In the course of like 2 days, 1,000 Japanese soldiers were eaten by crocodiles, by saltwater crocodiles.
What?
Yeah, so they were retreating
in 2 days?
In 2 days. It was this kind of perfect storm of situations where, because there were all these soldiers, they were eating all the prey. All the crocodiles were particularly hungry because of that. When the Allies pushed all the Japanese back into the swamps, they started screaming, and one scream would trigger all the crocodiles to get into a frenzy, and it just wiped out this entire populace of people that ran through the swamp.